It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Oh, let's review.
We'll analyze the scene.
Sounds holly jolly to me.
Before it's over, let's begin.
Bum.
Bum.
Yes, that's right, folks. Season's greetings, everyone. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And welcome to our third year. Third, is that correct, Dragon? Third?
Yes, third. It's the third
All right,
time.
thank you. Our third edition of Seasonal Shenanigans, the Christmas celebration on the So You Want to Be an Imagineer channel. Now, Dragon, we got four exciting categories for y'all. Categories. A calendar, I was thinking. I have a calendar, Freudian slip. Do you want to reveal the categories, Dragon?
Well, I mean, why don't you by all means reveal the categories?
I think we should reveal the categories. Okay, folks. So, first off, we have the animated category, which we will be diving into tonight with tonight's selection. Then, the second category we have is I Can't Believe It's Christmas, a new category on Seasonal Shenanigans, talking about mostly action movies that are themed around the holiday time. We got a little bit of a Shane Black treatment going on there. Then we'll be getting into movies in which, just kind of movies set around the Christmas season.
Holiday movies,
Holiday flicks. And finally, specials, the big holiday classics that we all show up for. All right, Dragon. So,
what are we talking about tonight?
Let's get into Olive, the Other Reindeer, Dragon. This is the 1999 animated special. I mean, it's animated. It's a special. Just go with it. I'm sorry. I mean, technically,
who's it by?
It's by Matt Groening, Dragon. It's by Matt Groening. Produced by Matt Groening. Starring Drew Barrymore and the one and only Homer Simpson himself. Dan Castellaneta is an evil mailman, postman, if you will. Dragon, do you want me to give the summary? Should you give the summary? What do you want to do here?
Well, I'll give the summary unless you really want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Also, I should mention, I'm really scheduling these. I think most of us have just seen this as the special itself, but from what I've heard, it's based on a book. Which might explain the style. It is based on the book.
Yeah. The style is very reminiscent of the children's book. I also think it just, of course, explains the very simplistic storytelling, the very simplistic characters in this. All around, Dragon, I'm sorry, I'm going to kind of bash on Polar Express a little bit here. Oh. This is such a better adaptation of a Christmas children's book than Polar Express is. I'm sorry.
Come on, that's not fair. Come on.
I really like this movie, and Polar Express has its moments, but overall, it's we've had that debate before. But no, I mean, I dig the art style of this, Dragon. I mean, we'll get into that later. But without further ado, why don't you go ahead and summarize the plot of this thing?
Sure. There's the cliff notes, folks. It's Christmas Eve, and Olive, the dog, is in the holiday spirit in a very non-canine-like fashion, frustrating her owner, Tim. Big reason he's frustrated, in addition to that, because everyone's angry over something they're not really angry about. Christmas may face a last-minute cancellation due to Blitzen injuring himself in practice flight. Olive hears this over the radio. Her pet Flea, go figure, convinces her Santa needs Olive, the other reindeer, very specifically Olive, the other reindeer. No way that could be misinterpreted over static radio. Which leads Olive and her con artist friend Martini, who she meets along her journey, on a trip to the North Pole. Along the way, fending off a deranged postal worker. In the end, Olive reaches Santa, gets a shot at saving Christmas after foiling the postman's plans to put an end to that. Olive proves her merit as a reindeer. Martini becomes a new postman, and all is well and all is holly and jolly.
And the postman becomes a penguin.
Yes, but not Robin Lord Taylor, no.
Oh God!
So before we
now I want to see Dan Castellaneta play the penguin.
Okay, but before we really dive into our next segment here, real quick, what's our nostalgia for this?
I'm glad you brought that up, Dragon. My nostalgia for this is Honestly, this is one of the specials that Cartoon Network kind of played into the ground. And that is kind of my nostalgia for it, is it being, like, way overplayed. Like, every Christmas, I'm like, really? All of the other reindeer is on again? I mean, I like it, but it's not something I need to see over and over again. It was kind of like the animated equivalent of a Christmas Story for me growing up. And, of course, Christmas Story I've softened on as well. And yeah, I don't know. With this, it's like I do remember liking it. I also remember kind of some of the elements not really jiving for me as a kid. I certainly appreciate the art style a lot more now as an adult. I love the art style as an adult. As a kid, I think it kind of threw me off, like the whole like 2D look with computer animation. I think I was just like, I'm not ready for this in 1999, man. You know, but
now after Paperman, we're all clamoring for it.
As an adult, I love it. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. It's great animation. But Dragon, I mean, you know, in the few memories I do have of this as a kid, outside of like, oh man, it's like I'm kind of burned out on this a little bit, honestly. And keep in mind, rewatching it now, again, I like it a lot more. I really appreciate the special a lot more, given time away from it. But in terms of nostalgia, I do remember kind of like, why is everyone being so casual about this dog just walking around and talking to everyone? Like, I remember being kind of confused about the world a little bit. And, of course, we have Dan Castellaneta and Dragon. We'll talk about the Postman, but Dan Castellaneta's performance is just varying ranges of different eras of Homer Simpson to me, to my ears. That's not necessarily to say that's a bad thing, but there's a lot of Homerisms in there. So I just remember it being like Drew Barrymore versus Dan Castellaneta versus Homer Simpson. But no, you know, it's like, what can you say? It is a very sweet special. There's a reason why Cartoon Network played it a lot in the late 90s, early 2000s era. So, you know, I certainly enjoy it a lot more now that I'm less jaded on like, oh, they're playing this way too much. So.
Yeah, me. I just, you know, I was kind of like, I think I liked it most in those first viewings. I think, and as it kind of went on, it's not like I thought I loved it or anything. I was always kind of delighted to kind of like see, oh, hey, it's on again. It's like an annual thing. Like, oh, look, it's all the other reindeer. Because they say if you have warm feelings attached, it's such kind of a nice, it's a cutesy premise. You know, it's a nice premise. A reindeer, you know, a dog that wants to be a reindeer, and just I kind of associate with, hey, it's Drew Barrymore as a cute little dog that wants to be a reindeer. How nice is that? You see it, and you're lucky if you kind of catch it when it's coming on TV instead of having to look for it or anything. It's like, hey, there you go. Isn't that pleasant? That's a way to get you in the holiday spirit, and I kind of feel that way on the film in general. And rewatching it on the you know, special in general, rewatching it, I really just kind of bring it down. I see some flaws I didn't see before. We'll get into that mostly with, you know, the whole pros and cons section, but. Again, overall, it's still it's a fun little blast of nostalgia. It's something you kind of come back to, like, you know, it's like an annual thing. It's nice.
And I do think it's an appropriate way to start off the third seasonal Shenanigans, because it is very much a high-profile Christmas special for, you know, our generation specifically, the 1999, you know, very influential to that time period. So
I should also mention that DNA did the animation for this. The people that did the animation for Jimmy Neutron.
Oh, okay. Well, I like this style a lot more than the Jimmy Neutron style. Not to diss Jimmy Neutron or anything, but
anyway. So I guess what we're gonna transition to now is
we're gonna transition to dynamics.
Character dynamics.
Yeah. Okay, so let's. I don't think any of these are gonna take that long because none of the characters are really that complex.
Well, with all the character dynamics in here, and mainly the ones we're looking at, it's kind of neat that they all kind of parallel. They're all really in contrast to Olive. Olive just kind of runs into these characters through their journey, and we kind of get to kind of examine characters based off of Olive, which is kind of a cool idea.
That's true. So let's talk about Martini then. Dragon, I think Martini's kind of a problem character to a certain extent. It's like, I get where they're going with his character, but at the same time, it's like he's kind of like a more nefarious version of Timon from The Lion King a little bit. You know what I mean?
I don't know if it's like a Timon angle necessarily.
Well, I mean, like where Timon kind of had shades of being a con artist, this guy is straight up selling like Rolexes with 3 X's on them.
That's pretty funny, though. I mean, come on.
I don't know. What do you think, though? I just think morally it's a little bit nefarious.
Well, I like that because it really, in comparison to Olive and Martini. Or first of all, again, Olive, just to kind of set the stage, because again, all these characters are going to be kind of compared to paired up against Olive. Olive is again, Drew Barrymore really brings kind of a sweetness to Olive, just like a real genuine. Like I like that Olive is. Well, this will be kind of with prose, but I'll mention it here because it's kind of relevant. I like that Olive is kind of one of those good static characters that she doesn't really change like the way she thinks she's going to change. She ends up changing everyone else.
She's just got like a dream in her mind and a song in her heart. She's one of those kind of characters.
Yeah, and because of that, like she's kind of like the morally kind of the best person you can be in this special. Like, she doesn't have a selfish thought. She's a really nice, really nice dog. She's also kind of sentient. It's like everyone wishes they had a dog like Olive, except for Tim. We'll get to that in a minute.
She's a much more likable sentient dog than Brian Griffin.
Well, in the modern. Anyway,
well, I would even say in the classic era, she's much more likable.
Oh, she's much more optimistic, which plays in my point here. That again, I think she and Martini are good opposites, and then she brings out the best in Martini, much like the rest of the characters, but especially with Martini, given he has the most kind of screen time and kind of most development, I guess, in the whole thing. Is that he brings the cynical viewpoint of again just being the whole the Rolex thing, the whole kind of the con artist thing. He has a really good Shriek perspective. Okay, this guy he's jaded. He's selling things. He doesn't really kind of. Like, no way would you imagine Olive would be friends with this kind of this self-interested penguin, and through the course
kind of like Nick Wilde light in a way.
That yes, I could definitely see that one. It's kind of in a Nick Wilde
Diet
sense.
Coke version of Nick Wilde.
Sure. And with that, though, I love that with that grand kind of Shriek perspective. It's like again, just spelling out for it. Well, look, I know reindeers. I've seen reindeers. You are no reindeer.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he's been in the zoo too. So again, I love they steal. I just love that his merchandise is all stuff he's stolen from the zoo. I love that.
Yeah, that is a clever touch. Yeah.
So again, basically,
like throughout the movie, you do see Martini. He does kind of have the biggest. I would say he does kind of even next to Olive, even compared to Olive, he has a bigger character arc than even Olive does. I think.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying Olive doesn't change more, and she changes people like characters like Martini, and Martini, Olive wears him down with optimism. By the end, he believes in her, much like the rest of the characters she meets along her journey.
Mm-hmm. Okay, pretty straightforward.
It's fun. He's got some cool one-liners, and also I had this. Let me see. We kind of noticed the voice actor from Sewer on Martini here. It's Joe. Probably butchering his last name. Just go with me, a little seasonal courtesy, folks.
Joe Manganiello? No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Joe, it's Pantoliano, I think. Point is, he played Ben Urich in the Daredevil film.
Oh, okay, nice.
He's also been in some other things with those kind of the most notable. Nowadays, not the most notable at all, but used to be notable.
Oh God,
we all love Netflix Daredevil.
All right, so let's transition to Olive and the Postman.
Bum bum bum. No name given.
This guy is the most ridiculous character outside of the side of the Plowman from Snow Day.
So if Martini's an opposite to Olive, and that's kind of an opposite that's going to go on an arc, we have the Postman here is the complete opposite of Olive in every way, and I love that. That he is of course mailman dog. I love we play on one of my favorite things in the special. I love how we kind of play on the dynamic of dogs and mailmen don't get along.
Right.
So here it's quite the opposite. Olive, the dog, does not dislike the mailman at all. She's really friendly. She's really nice, and I just love that it's the opposite of the dog hating the mailman. The mailman just hates the dog to a ridiculous nature. Just to such the dog's irrational hatred of the mailman is reversed. It's brilliant. It makes the dynamic more unique, I think.
Yeah, it was a pretty clever idea. We'll get into it more with one of your favorite moments, but of course I think the song does explain a lot of his motivation, where by the end of the year he's just really worn down. And so December comes and all these packages are coming in, he's already really tired, and he's got... So it's in a certain context, you do kind of see he's just a guy who's fed up with his job. That's really the easiest way to break down his character.
Yeah, it's you could root for him, but he's kind of insane with the conviction of which he's going about this. Again, it's someone who barely doesn't even have a shot, and he's just pursuing them so vehemently through this whole thing. Hey, the dog, Olive says to him just at one point, "Hey, I'm not going to let that. I'm going to try." Essentially, she just says, "I'm going to try to help Santa," and then he just, out of the sense that she might even try, he's like, "This is a dog who wants to be a reindeer. Sounds insane to anyone." He's still going to these insane lengths to prevent her from even trying.
Right.
He's following her to the bus depot. He's following her all which way. He's dressed up like a waitress. Again, he's so over the top compared to our very reasonable protagonist here.
I think he's easily probably the funnest character in the film.
Special.
Special film, whatever, what have you. He's a lot of fun. That's the point I'm trying to make.
He is.
And like I said, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to like down on Dan Castellaneta. He does give a good, unique voice to the character. It's just I've seen so much of The Simpsons that, you know, there are a couple like annoyed grunts that get out there that are very Homer Simpson-like. But you know what? That just endears him to me even more. To tell you the truth.
If anything, I got more Robot Devil than I got Homer Simpson.
Oh, I can see that. I can see that.
I'm more in the Futurama. I've seen all the Futuramas. I haven't really seen any of these.
Well, to be fair, Futurama is a much deeper show than The Simpsons, so I think you probably chose right in that regard. But anyways.
Yeah.
So anything else to say about the Postman?
I'll say more for the pros, but I'm good now.
Definitely more captivating than the Kevin Costner version of the Postman. Okay, so let's get into Olive Martini and our good friend, the bus driver, Richard. Yeah.
Well, I think we're skipping ahead a little bit there, Tiki. We got two other
Oh,
characters.
I'm sorry. You're right. Wow.
Let's real quick. These two are going to go by real fast, though, so we'll hold on to your hopes for Richard.
Okay, well, look, I'm not trying to down on this guy because it is a very, like, likable human pet dynamic we have going on here, but I didn't think it was possible to have a more bland, like, human character in comics than John Arbuckle. And this guy is more bland than John Arbuckle.
Honestly,
well, that's not to say he's a nice guy, because he seems like a really nice guy. You know, he seems like really remiss for... I mean, he didn't even really lose his temper that bad at all of, you know, that made her kind of go off and think that he was going to abandon her, you know, and of course we'll get into the misunderstanding and everything.
Yeah.
But,
I'll admit, Tim, again, he's the main on the rewatch. It really kind of has me down, and we'll get to that more with cons. But let's just say, in terms of just their dynamic, I think it's a fun idea of you know, this somewhat realistic. It's this interesting situation they're kind of playing. Okay, well, if you had a dog that this take on the whole having a talking dog of like, well, maybe he doesn't want his dog to be, you know, walking and talking around. He wants to act more dog-like.
Right.
I'm saying that's kind of an interesting idea. Like, okay, it's kind of a fun idea of just kind of playing, just assigning her these dog chores. Well, you know, act more dog-like, would you? That's kind of a fun notion. I just wish they kind of. The thing that really sticks to me with his character, that really kind of turns me off to his character, is like, why would you complain? Who on earth would complain about this? This dog's awesome, man.
Right.
What is she? She's a maid.
But I did, you know, to be fair, though, I don't really necessarily think he's complaining all that much. He's just kind of like, it's an adjustment. You know, it's like, look, if your dog if you had a sentient talking dog, it would be an adjustment, would it not?
Yeah, but it seems like something I don't know, they don't play it like it's the first couple of days he's got an olive. You know, like time has passed. You think you get used to a thing like that. I don't know. But I will say this, though, I do, reading into it a little bit, just kind of finding some gems in this. Well, say it kind of reads, maybe, and I could be stretching here, so it kind of reads almost like a kind of a parent-child expectation sort of thing around the holidays. You know, they have like, you know, these, basically, you know, Tim has expectations for Olive, which again are act like a dog, and you know, Olive doesn't quite meet that, and by the end, Olive, you know, through the whole thing, is just kind of longing for an acceptance or for Tim to have a dog in a sense, and by the end, of course, she is accepted for, you know, the way she is, and for the way she is, like anyone wants, especially around the holidays. And you know, Tim's just kind of accepting her for no matter which way she comes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's kind of a little allegory there, maybe.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, let's go to Fido, Olive's pet flea, which again I love. Such a novel concept, a dog with a pet flea. Again, not a lot with him. I just love that little just the concept of that.
This guy is honestly probably the concept is fine. Dragon, it's pretty fun, but. This guy, just the whole misunderstanding thing of like, you know, Tim just being so genuinely like apologetic and Fido yeah, I would say that's probably the weakest scene in the whole film for me.
Yeah, and again, just watching years later, just kind of again, it's been a while since I've seen Olive. I'm just saying years. I don't know if it's been years or not, but it's been a while since I've seen Olive. It's forgotten about it since the holidays, I guess. But again, I know the basics. It's like a little. I forgot like how forced this was of like getting Olive on the adventure. Like, wow, they really had to. I forgot like how forced that was.
I mean, essentially, it's kind of just like, you know, like, oh, Tim's going to get a new dog unless Olive saves Christmas because somehow Olive thinks that Tim thinks it's her fault. You know, it's not. I'm not buying it. The thing that
bugs me most about that is I just wish they shot that differently. You know what they could have done to make that work, Tiki? Very simple. If they cut to the outside of Tim saying all this stuff, we the audience hear it, but on the inside, because it's through glass, it's the lip reading, but we don't hear any sound from the other side. It's really muffled, but you hear it clear as crystal from the other side.
I can see that, yeah.
That bugs me. If we just had like you can't hear him at all, like okay, he's translating the mouth movements of like okay, well that's just completely not what it's read. But again, no, it just seems it basically makes the flea look really incompetent, which is not good.
Yeah, missed opportunity, I guess.
And it's a real missed opportunity because Fido is a really good actor too. He's got Peter MacNicol as Fido. I love Peter MacNicol; he's great.
Yeah, and like you said, it's kind of like I can honestly see this character working better as a concept in a children's book than in an animated film. So I imagine this character is more of like a framing device in the book.
Yeah,
that's my guess. You know,
and we should address that too. That seems to be kind of something that really going to judge in the film, judging the special, really kind of eats away at it as adapting the book. That these are things that might play easily in like kind of a one-page kind of illustration on a page, and you flip it. Okay, sure. There's going to basically it's like such a whimsical idea. Hey, the flea kind of steers in. No, he didn't say. Yeah, he said Olive the Other Reindeer. I guess since I'd buy that more if it was like on a page versus like buying more like, well, no, we just heard it. We, the audience, heard this, and we did. It's completely obvious. He said, Olive, not Olive. You know?
Yeah. Oh, gee. But she's got a song in her heart, Dragon. Gosh,
she does.
Anyways.
All right.
So speaking of a guy having a song in his heart, let's get to Richard. Yeah. Olive.
Yeah, Richard's a pleasant guy. He's voiced by the wonderful Tim Mouse. Tim Mouse is a really good comedic actor.
Yeah, I think pleasant is the right word for this guy. You know, he kind of shoots down Olive in kind of like the nicest way possible. He's like, oh, well, you know, that's just a misunderstanding. It's okay. It happens to all of us. You know, Santa actually said all of the other reindeer, but
that's what I'm saying.
But what I like about this guy is that he very quickly gets on board with like, oh, okay, if you want to try and save Christmas, who am I to stop you? You know, by all means.
He's very open-minded.
Yeah.
He's very open-minded to it. Like, okay, well, you sold me, you can do it. Okay.
There's not a lot to say about this guy. He doesn't really get a ton of screen time, you know, but he's very supportive. He's very helpful along the way.
I don't know, Tim Meadows just loves playing supportive characters because he's on a show right now called Son of Zorn. He plays like the really kind of nice, kind of new. He's getting married to the ex-wife, essentially. He's playing really nicely.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so let's see. So next we got Olive and Martini meeting
Schnitzel and
Round
John. Yes.
Lyric from a song, hence the funky name.
I kind of like this idea, Dragon, the whole, this rogue band of, it's almost like the Star Wars Cantina, like the holiday version of the Star Wars Cantina.
Where's B. Arthur?
Well, okay, I don't know, but you got the Easter Bunny hanging out, you know, the Easter Bunny can be Greedo. I don't know.
We're not that bad, except that bunny. Okay, so it kind of makes sense. You know, these guys are all really bummed out and they're real skeptical of Olive. Again, initially they seem like really kind of bad, you know, rowdy characters they're thrown for.
They want to throw her off the roof, for God's sakes. Yeah.
Which is very despicable. I mean, how dare you throw this Drew Barrymore dog off the roof of this building? It's not going to end well. How dare you, sirs and reindeers? How dare you? But again, I like that Olive. Again, Olive's kind of triumphs in the scene where she's reminding them not to give up on the Christmas spirit, essentially. And I do like the idea. It's kind of a line that kind of goes by real fast. It's kind of funny, but also I like there is some explanation for Schnitzel of all peoples. You know, Schnitzel is the deer who kind of leads the charge and everything. Schnitzel he is a flightless reindeer, and again, imagine how you would feel. Basically, what's happening here is it's announced, okay, hey, all these flying reindeer, one of them's sick, and we could really use another reindeer. If you're a reindeer but you can't fly, imagine how useless you feel. That's why he's drowning his sorrows, because he's sad at that bar, Tiki.
And don't forget that he's not just a flightless reindeer; he's also the brother
of Blitzen's cousin. Oh, he's a brother.
Comet.
Well, no, isn't he Blitzen's though?
No, I'm pretty sure it's Comet.
Well, we know what the other one is. I'm saying, is he? You sure he's not related to Blitzen?
I could be wrong. I thought he was related to Comet. Either way.
He's related to a reindeer. I mean, that makes him feel even worse.
He's a relative of one of Santa's A-game, like all-star players. You know what I mean? So
imagine he's drowning his sorrows. You feel for this guy afterwards. Like, oh, man, that's why he's feeling all bummed out.
Right.
And Round John, again, I love it. Round John, I love he's kind of voicing, oh, man, she's right. I feel this is real naughty. We're not going to get what we wanted. We don't deserve what we wanted. I wanted my cordless drill.
Again, Round John feels more like a character that would fit right at home in like a couple pages of a children's book, and you don't need anything more for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I like Round John the way he is.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying his character is very simplistic. It's like, and that's kind of the charm of some of these characters. It's just how off the page they are.
All Round John wanted was a cordless drill.
Okay.
That's all he wanted for Christmas, Santa. a cordless drill. Why didn't you give that to him, Santa?
Okay, so she'll get into Olive and Comet.
Yes.
So not much to say here. Just Comet's a nice guy. He's just like, all the other reindeer, huh? He
kind of questions it at first, but he's right after a moment. After a moment of acknowledgement. Yeah.
Gosh darn it! One of the most touching moments is what he asks Olive to call him. Is that part of your favorite moment?
But Olive asked that to call him.
He's like, I'd be honored if you called me Comet the other dog or something like that.
No, you can take it. I didn't have those moments.
Well, I'm just saying that's a very sweet moment. That kind of like defines their, again, it's like that's the thing, Dragon. It's like, Olive is a very neutral character. Yeah, not neutral, but a very a very static character. But gosh darn it, she's got a song in her heart, and she's giving all these other character songs into their hearts, and it's just it's so nice. It's so nice.
And it's just nice. It's like you meet someone who's like just that supportive voice you want when you're taking up something you're not even sure you can do.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, I just love the idea of like, oh, well, I want to be called a dog if you're a reindeer because anyways, it's a nice.
Yeah. Comments. Yeah.
Okay, Dragon. So we talked about one Ed Asner Santa during Christmas in July. Let's talk about another Ed Asner Santa.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Can we just agree that Ed Asner is basically like the definitive Santa at this point?
Oh yeah, he's one of my favorites. It's Ed Asner Santa Claus. Here's the thing, folks. For the folks who don't know, the few of you, I would assume, Ed Asner loves to play Santa. He said that sometimes it's been his favorite role. He loves playing Santa Claus, and my God, the guy plays a good Santa Claus.
He's so good. He's so good at it. What I love about the Santa is that it's definitely not in the same kind of over-the-top commercialism way that we see in other more recent holiday movies, like, let's say, Arthur Christmas or something like that, where it's just like, oh, Santa's an organization, But this guy, he's definitely, like, they kind of bring him down to earth a little bit, where he's kind of, like, having to deal with the corporate side of being Santa.
Yeah, this take on Santa is really good. I like seeing Ed Asner get to play various different Santas, and in this case... In this case, the way he plays Santa is I just love the idea of a Santa who's in the public eye. Like, we don't have to worry. I just love the world knows there is a Santa Claus. Like, yeah, Santa Claus.
Just the idea of Santa having press conferences it's so Tony Stark-esque, right?
I know. How great is it? I just love it. The world knows they're Santa Claus. Just they accept. They don't quite. Okay, just this guy every year he's known for doing this one big thing. It's like Groundhog's Day, but on a much grander scale. You know,
I can just picture it. I can just picture it like Playboy billionaire Christian Kringle. You know, in a press conference, like, well, the truth is, I am Santa Claus. Dun, 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 dun.
He has white hair for the goatee.
Oh,
it's like, right. He's got a red tie on. I am Santa Claus. No, it's actually
la 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 la. Fa la 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 la.
What if they do that with the guitars but with jingle bells? Anyway, or do the Iron Man theme with jingle bells. Ding 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 ding. Anyway, the point is that Anderson is good. He plays like a really. This guy was dealing with, and the fact that he gets. I love the mailman literally delivers it up to the North Pole. There is just. He's making his rounds.
Like very accessible, apparently.
Yeah, well, it's a bus ride, apparently.
I know, right?
Kind of funny when you think about it.
It's kind of like Universal Studios Hollywood, where it's like it's a working factory, but they also give tours and stuff at the same time.
Yeah, I think Vince Vaughn and Fred Claus really got gypped. I think, remember, he had to pay all that money to get to the North Pole because he had to take. Remember, he has to take the boat, then he has to take. He has to get the toboggan.
Right.
The dogs and everything. I mean, it's like he really. And remember, that was all his money for his gambling, the gambling business he wanted. I mean, the casino like across from the stock market. Oh, that's just. He got gypped on that one. If it was just a bus ride away. Anyway, so Ed Asner Santa is really cool, and I just love he kind of gets disenfranchised, and Olive kind of picks him up out of that sadness. You know, he's going through, "Dear Santa, I hate you." I mean, how can you not feel for Santa? He's reading all these horrible letters.
Oh, I know. It's a very nefarious.
Get a real job, Santa. Remember that one was written as just get a real. Dear Santa, I hope you essentially I hope you sober up and get a real job.
Oh God. Okay, so let's get into some of our favorite scenes then.
Yes.
Okay. You want to start?
Yeah, I'm just trying to do this chronologically because that's usually what we like to do here. Okay, I guess mine would be the song we get towards the beginning. Basically, Olive runs into the postman, and we get the postman basically explaining, as you said before, he's kind of explaining what his deal is with Christmas, what he's got against it. It's called Christmas Bug and Hum. I like how they kind of reverse the humbug. It's kind of cute. And it's a kind of a catchy song. And this one feels very much like Robot Devil, because of course the first.
Oh my God! Yes.
Honestly, it didn't occur to me until he brought the whole Homer Simpson thing.
You don't need them. We'll find ways to simulate that smell. All right, you get it.
I feel really dumb because I didn't realize until early on in this video you mentioned Homer Simpson. I realized, oh wait, yes, that song is the Robot Devil. But it's catchy, and it's I like how we get some story told through this. And again, I love most of all, I love the logic of it. Yes, if you were a mailman, again, he says he loves summertime, just kind of doing around the packages, and then as the months get colder and you get more, as August comes and gets closer to Christmas, he's starting to get worn down. Then by Christmas time, it's the busiest mail season of the year.
It's essentially just a disenfranchised work guy, and it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like the worst holidays for postmen are probably Valentine's Day and Christmas. Christmas being the most,
Oh, I can imagine Christmas just being hell. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, you understand where he's coming from, absolutely, and I love that Olive she's taking in she understands it, but at the same time, though, she still can't understand how can you not like Christmas, though, man.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's a nice little song. It's visually really dazzling. It's like we see through mail. He's walking through mail. He's takes the ham because people send hams to the mail, all these giant, big heavy parcels and stuff. Just throws the ham on the poor skier lady, and she falls all the way down. It's an inventive sequence. I like it. All right. You want me to do all three? Or?
Yeah, go through all three. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Then I have. I just really love this one line. It's a cool action sequence. I generally like all the the postman related action sequences. I think they're nice. Some of them are forced, but I like them. Later on, we get the mail truck chase, which is cool. My favorite isolated moment, though, I really love this. The first time they evade him, he's chasing He's chasing the bus that Richard's driving, that Tim Meadows carries is driving, and basically they need to find a way to lose him. So out of Martini's case, he gets like a little zoo flyer or map or something. He folds it up, and he has one of the cool action movie lines here. It's just so hilarious. You see, he tosses this paper airplane out of the window into the mailman's ear, where he says, as he says it, he's saying, "Deliver this, punk!"
Yeah.
He flings it, it sticks in his ear, and he swerves off the road into the midsection. It's awesome. That's how you dispatch your villain non-lethally. That's how you do it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And my last moment. Just generally, this one's kind of like an all-encumbering one. I just love the ending. The ending specifically, I guess it's not. It's like right after Olive and Tim have the reconciliation. I love the kind of the epilogue. Like, it's more like an epilogue, where we see like a reprise of the do 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 do, that thing.
That's great Christmas music, by the way.
It is, and I love
Very upbeat.
Yes, and I love like we see basically where we left our characters. It's just a series of really nice, pleasant moments with all of our characters, which man, I love those sorts of moments where we see Olive and Fido have opposable thumbs they got as gifts.
Right,
which is such a cool idea. Like she says, "Oh, I wish I had one opposable thumb." Then she gets them. Of course, Santa. I love Santa sleeping after delivering all the gifts, and Mrs. Claus, putting the blanket on him. We get Martini's. He's officially made the new postman.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, speaking of the postman. This to me is sweet. It's so he's still wrapped up like a penguin.
Even the postman gets a happy ending in this.
Again, not Robin Lord Taylor, but he's wrapped up like a penguin, and he is presented fish in a box by a neighboring family of penguins, and that's all the mailman needed. You know why he was so bitter?
He doesn't even have to kill anyone for the fish.
Yes. And it's so nice that after all of that, what he really needed was to be given a gift instead of giving other people gifts. How nice is that?
Oh yeah.
It's a nice message. Everyone, make sure my grandfather does this too, like around the holidays. The family does this around the holidays, where they tip the guys you need to tip, the garbage men, the mailmen, all the guys that bring you stuff. You always sort of take stuff away. You always got to do something nice for them. That's a public service, and that's to the folks that they always do something nice for the postman and the garbage man.
Cool. Okay, so I guess I'll get to my 3 moments really quick. Dragon, I love the opening song. It's just very Christmassy. I love the music, like we mentioned. It's just a nice, very, very upbeat holiday melody. But what I really want to talk about, Dragon, actually, is I think this kind of just perfectly sums up Olive's character. The first real thing we get to see her do after she sings the song is she sees a group of mice, right? And the mice are sad that they can't bring the tree home because the tree's so big. And so she gives the mice the air freshener. And it's like, oh, so you get all the, all the wonderful scented smell of Christmas without having, without any of the pine needle mess. That is just such a damn pleasant notion. It's just like, it's kind of the perfect sentiment to start the Olive character on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so, Dragon, I love some of the clever humor in this. It's very, very in the style of Matt Groening. More specifically, we get the Deus Ex Machina, where, Olive is, it's about midway through the movie. She's trapped in the postman's mail truck, mail van, whatever, and she's just looking for any sign of help, and then she sees a package that's just labeled, to Olive from Deus Ex Machina.
I love that it's addressed to her, and the mailman brings up the whole, like, hey, it's a federal crime, you open anything, but it's addressed to me. Oh, okay.
That's great. Yeah. So it's a file that's specifically used for monkeys. Keep that in mind. Monkeys specifically use it. And so she breaks out, and of course she reunites with Martini and Richard. Martini asks how she did. She's like, have you ever heard of a Deus Ex Machina? No. Look it up sometime. So that's great. That's a clever little writing gag right there. I love me a writing gag. But Dragon, what I really think makes this gag pay off so well is at the very end. It's such a Simpsons-esque thing to do to bring a gag back like this. At the very end, it's kind of like a blink and you miss it thing, but they mention that all the monkeys have escaped, probably using the same files that Olive used to escape from the, from the mail truck. So I love.
Well, remember,
the
we see they all have like hacksaws at the end.
Right.
Deus Ex Machina brand. Remember, folks, those are Deus Ex Machina brand monkey hacksaws.
That's great.
Put an order in now, along with your tubaphone orders.
And then finally we have Olive and Martini saying goodbye. This isn't like necessarily it might be the last time they see each other in the movie. I can't remember.
Well, I mean, if it's after he saves him, yeah, it is the last time they see each other.
Okay, yeah. So, first of all, Dragon, I just love the Olive getting the wings from the cardboard boxes. I just think that's adorable, and I love it. But I don't not much to say here. Not much to say.
So what do you think? Do you think she flies, or do you think what do you think?
You know what? There is a song in my heart, Dragon, and I would like to believe that she flies. Yes.
I've seen everything now. I've seen a dog fly.
And even if you want to subscribe to the theory that she's just kind of like floating there with the other reindeer, to be fair, the nose did come in a lot of help. They would have been screwed without her nose.
This isn't flying, this is falling with style.
So granted, I think that's kind of the whole point of her being the reindeer, is that her nose was kind of like the thing that saved the day in the end, much like Rudolph. So, anyways, with the Martini thing, it's just kind of like a wrap up of his character arc in a way, just like, that's nice, like Martini's just like, have a good Christmas, kid. It's like they're from different sides of the track, but they've really grown to respect one another. Just a nice moment. All right. Okay, Dragon, let's get you some pros and cons really quick then.
That was 3 moments for you, right?
Yeah, those 3 moments. The opening, and then the Deus Ex Machina, and then the Martini goodbye. 3 moments.
Right, okay, sorry, I just want to make sure. Okay, so next pros and cons. Well, pros and pretty much, you kind of mentioned a lot of them, so overall has good music, has a lot of heart to it.
The art style is great. I could just watch
very unique animation style.
Yeah.
I love the whole solid static kind of protagonist we got with Olive. Like she's influencing other people. And it's not the same thing by any stretch. Like with Batman and the Arkham games, he doesn't change. Everyone else is changing around them.
Mm-hmm. I really like kind of like the Matt Groening sensibilities to it, where you have a lot of like the Deus Ex Machina gag and the idea of Santa holding a press conference, that kind of stuff. It's got that Matt Groening flavor to it. It's got a great cast with Drew Barrymore, Dan Castellaneta, Ed Asner, fantastic cast all around.
Oh yeah, I think Martini is a fun supporting character. I think there are tons of concepts. The thing I can still say I really like about this, I think the concepts are good and basically are the concepts are good, including the old turning the old misunderstanding. It's like a famous misunderstanding kind of birthed the book. The whole idea of the whole like what if all of the other reindeer was all of the other reindeer. And the people misheard. Right. That's where the genesis. I assume genesis of the book came from. That's got basically taking that and the whole the sentient dog dynamic, kind of mixing the two of those points. All the concepts I think they're really clever. Whether they play better in the book or not, they're still in a book or not. They still play really well.
Mm-hmm.
And they're clever. It's like, a dog with a pet flea, and a dog is like more human than a dog, and the dog wants to be aspirations to be a reindeer and sing, but hey, I'll go with it, man. It's Christmas.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it has a lot of heart, really, a lot of nice stuff to it. Some good themes. It's all kind of makes you feel warm and fuzzy.
Okay, so for the cons, it's hard to talk bad about this movie, man, because it's just got such a good message to it. But some of the characters are a little bit simplistic. I think the biggest con you and I both have with it is that they could have explained the whole misunderstanding thing. They could have done that a lot better than they did. It feels kind of forced.
Yes, overall, it's like the premise adapted is hard to sell in places. It's sometimes just hard to sell in animation.
Mm-hmm.
Again with the whole obvious, she misheard the radio. The Fido doesn't help that. Saying, Santa said he needs you.
I don't even mind. That's the thing. It's like I don't even mind the idea of her mishearing the radio. It's just kind of like Fido is kind of like honestly the big problem here. Like I said, I think Fido most likely works better in the book as like a plot device, more so than actually seeing it play out in the movie, you know? So
I think Tim's a little short-sighted and asking just with the notion that's being brought that's consistent with Olive's fears of, like, you know, Tim maybe not being crazy about having just like a dog that doesn't really act like a traditional dog. It seems a little short-sighted of Tim just to, because the idea is he's assigned these tasks to her beforehand. Like, why even bother? You take her the way she is. It seems a little short-sighted him just asking for a regular dog over like the awesome dog you have now.
Not to mention, it kind of makes the payoff a little unsatisfying, to tell you the truth.
That's what I'm saying. It's like Tim. I don't really invest in why. Tim's happiness is a big reason Olive does this too. Is to kind of give Tim a Christmas.
And like I said, Tim, just in general, he doesn't have much of a personality. He's got less of a personality than John Arbuckle. So.
Then again, I also think the postman's maybe a little too persistent. Again, he's just kind of, he's getting a little obsessive over like a
He's a bit over the top. He is a wee bit over the top. I won't deny you that.
Yeah.
Okay. But overall, go ahead.
I was just going to transition us. Yeah.
So, I mean, in spite of some of the cons we have, I definitely do think this holds up as a special dragon. I do think this holds up as a holiday, as a good Christmas film.
Yeah, it gives you into the Christmas spirit. It has a really optimistic theme, and I love what the thing about Olive flies. They kind of harken it back here for a second. Mm-hmm. I love that it doesn't matter if Olive flies. It's a story about Olive instilling Christmas hope in everyone, even Santa, of course. Again, he's out of it too. It just instills hope in like the idea in everyone. Because remember, Santa's is like, hey, 7 reindeer, we can't do it. No, you can do it, 7 reindeer. What's wrong with you?
Right.
Why does 1 reindeer make such a difference? And that's the fact. If you buy the Olive flies or not, again, she kind of flies. I mean, it's like there's enough, like she's a little bit of wind there. She kind of runs up. It's like the years somehow get her to float in the first. It doesn't matter whether you buy into it or not. It's like, it just shows you, no, Santa's is really not, it's just really, he's just really scared off by the fact of, hey, if I don't have like an even amount of reindeer, we can't do it. Mm-hmm. It's you probably go a little faster with less reindeer. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, like, I don't think 1 reindeer is going to make it. The point is, regardless, like, Olive's just, she's bringing, like, she's kind of pepping Santa up for, like, for Christmas. Like, no, don't give up, guys. You can do this. Which she does. She's very useful, and of course, the nose thing, big time. So Olive is very useful, whether or not it's in the capacity she thinks it is.
Hmm. So, there's definitely 1 or 2 elements that aren't great with this thing, but it's hard to find a perfect Christmas movie by any stretch. So
it's more so they don't hold up as well. It's not so much they're really bad. It's just they don't really gel as well.
Right. So I wouldn't put this like in the top tier of something like The Grinch or something like that. No, absolutely not. Absolutely
not. Talking
but...
Carlo versus Drew Barrymore here.
Well, Drew Barrymore, she's pleasant in her own way, though, and I think that's what...
Karloff.
I'm not arguing Karloff. You know how much I love The Grinch, okay? But I'm just saying, I think there's a place on the shelf for both of them. Clearly, The Grinch is the superior one, but I do think that this is a pretty decent holiday special, and a pretty good traditional, like watch once a year sort of thing. And I don't want, and I'm glad that Cartoon Network doesn't like whore it out like they used to and have like marathons of it like a Christmas Story, because I got so sick of that by the end. Anyways, but like I said, just kind of taking so much time away from it and going back to it as an adult, I actually appreciate on some levels more, like especially on the animation point of view, I appreciate it more, and definitely like with the some of the jokes like the Deus Ex Machina thing. But it's a good story. It's a good story. What more is there to say? What do you want?
I guess my final thoughts would be, it's not as without thought as I remembered, but it's cute and it's triumphant. It's something as you say, it's something you can revisit, and of course, Ed Asner's Santa is always great. So,
you're right. Okay.
So I guess I'll take us out then.
Go ahead.
Sorry, just so sad. We're talking about Olive, and now it's over. Well, kids, time to dash away all. But as we wave goodbye, don't you cry. We'll be back again next time
for even more seasonal shenanigans.
Fa la la
La
la
la
la
la la
la
la
la
la
la
la la
la.
la.
I'm
Hi,
the other reindeer.
hi. I'm an ass.